Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episode 1 of Inside Job. This is a donation reward for, let me make sure I get this completely correct. I don't want to say the wrong name or credit the wrong person here. Inside Job, where is it? There it is. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is a donation reward for Matthew Vasquez. This is a Netflix adult animated series, and I'm concerned because while I like Close Enough, most adult animated shows are not like that. Most of them just tend to go into the route of let's be edgy and let's be as vulgar and crude and crass as possible, because that's what adult humor is, right? And it's like they go out of their way to just be offensive and gross and overly, like, just sexual for the sake of being overly sexual. Using bad language for the sake of using that language. Like everything nothing has a point. They just be offensive and crude and crass, and there's no point to it. It's so poorly written, it's so poorly handled. All the characters are one-dimensional stereotypes that are often annoying as fuck. Adult animation has always been very, just not great for me. There are exceptions. There very much are some exceptions out there, but they are the exception. That's the point. So it's hard to truly get into an adult animated series for me when I have such a negative view on them as a whole. But because there have been some exceptions, I am always willing to give a series a chance. It might surprise me. It might end up being something a lot more close to something like Close Enough. But it could also be something bad. And it could also be something that is so just pompous and ridiculous that it's like there's some good jokes in it, but it ends up becoming just too try hard for me. I've seen plenty of those ones too with adult animated content. But basically the biggest thing I'm looking for is effort here. I just want to see some like actual effort be put into the characters, the stories, the just overall just context of this series. Excuse me. Because if they do that, that's already a massive step ahead of most animated adult content. So we'll see. Now, as to what I actually know about this show going in, I've seen art of the main character and stuff, and some screenshots here and there, who I assume is the main character, this woman. And I think it has something to do with the government, which does work with the title. So not too much, really. This isn't a show that I hear people talking about. I think it's more recent, but I don't know how recently it came out. But it's something that was never really on my radar. Like, I had heard about it, and it's just, it never really, like, was something I was like, oh, I've got to check this out. So we'll just have to see. I'm kind of judging it on very little information. And I'm only really concerned because of one bit of that information. Um, Excuse me, I don't know why I'm yawning so much right now. But it's mainly just because of past experiences with adult animation and not liking most of them that it's like, I'm just concerned. It concerns me when so many animation that is targeted towards a younger demographic has been more mature than the actual adult animation for the most part. It's just, it makes me worried about where things are going with animation a lot of times. But I'm definitely interested to find out, to see what this is about. We'll give it a fair chance. If I don't end up liking it, I just don't end up liking it. It's always a possibility with anything I start on the channel. So, that all being said, we are going to get this started and check out this first episode, see what it has in store for us, and see what it's like compared to other adult animations. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades black, then it fades back in. Everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. I don't get it. I don't understand the appeal of this at all. Maybe I need to watch another episode or two, and I will. But I don't get it. Like, I found very little in this funny. I found very little in this that interesting. It's like it's just making fun of conspiracy theories. It's like, oh, let's take every conspiracy theory about like the deep state and lizard people and robot presidents and everything, and just make a series out of it where everything is true, and there's this government agency that is trying to cover it all up while also, you know, actually causing everything themselves. It's just, I don't get the appeal of that. It's like with any of those political adult cartoons out there. It's like, why would someone make this? Why would they think that there's an audience for this? I mean, there probably is. I'm sure there is. But I don't understand why there is. It's like, don't we get enough of this like bullshit in real life? Why do we need to like have a cartoon satirizing it? It's just, it's not funny. Because it's like there are people who believe shit like this in real life. And there are people who just constantly spout all kinds of conspiracy bullshit all over the internet. And it's like, maybe it's just I'm sick of it, but especially considering so many like big political names spout a lot of this conspiracy shit. A lot of big evangelical names as well, but that's a completely different issue. It's like the political right here in America alone is basically made up of this conspiracy bullshit at this point. It's like that's, I mean, just the entire 2020 election bullshit that they've talked about and everything is enough proof of that, with their entire conspiracies about the voter fraud because they think Trump was more popular. Not getting into all of that here, but yeah, it's ridiculous. And this series so far just seems to be like pointing out that this is all ridiculous. But again, it's like there's no humor in it, I feel. Well, okay, almost no humor. There's a couple things that are a little funny. But it's like, most of this is like, it's just not funny because it feels too real. Like, obviously, we know, like, there's no actual lizard people or anything, and the president's not actually a robot. Shit like that. We understand that. But the fact is that because so many people do spout this nonsense all over the internet constantly, I'm constantly seeing this shit, and it's like, it's not funny anymore. I don't understand what the appeal here is supposed to be. And apparently Alex Hirsch was involved in this. I don't see his influence anywhere in this. Like, the style that I've come to know him for through Gravity Falls and even The Owl House is not in here at all. The kind of humor that those shows are known for is blatantly not here. The kind of characters and everything and dialogue involving them, not here. So I don't know, like, what his actual influence in this was. Let me see if I can find out exactly what his role was again. I saw his name like very briefly here in the credits. So I only saw his name. I didn't really I didn't really see what his position was. Let me go through pretty much all of these that I can here. Okay, so the episode apparently is called Unprecedented as well, and it was written by Shion Takeuchi, who might just be the showrunner in general, because it seems like they have a lot of roles that they played in all of this. Directed by Pete Michaels, and Vitally? I'm not sure. I think it's Vitally or something, but Strokos? Alex Hurst was an executive producer. Okay. Along with Shion and another one. So his influence is not felt in here at all to me. I mean, maybe it just because it's executive producer and it's like nothing else, maybe that's why, but I don't feel his influence in here at all. It just doesn't feel like something that Alex Hirsch would be involved in. Even the plot of this first episode, it's like the president is replaced with a robot, and the robot wants to like completely box in literally America and segregate it from the world, and it's like, what? What's the joke there? I don't understand. And I think that's my biggest issue with this. It's just, again, I just don't get it. I don't get the appeal. I don't get the humor. I don't get it. And so, like, what am I supposed to say? Now, there was some humor in this that was, or attempt at humor, I should say, that was very much trying to be your stereotypical adult animation. It was very clear there were certain things in here that just really weren't needed and felt like, oh, this is clearly just trying to be, quote unquote, an adult cartoon without understanding what that actually means. The constant like drug stuff, for example, it's just like that. There's no point to that. There's no point to have that in here. It just feels like you're just throwing it in because adult cartoon, and it just doesn't work. And it's just I didn't connect with the characters. Like, I don't have really any thoughts on Reagan at all. And as the main character, that's a little not okay. Like, you want to at least have thoughts on a character, but it's like, I don't dislike her, but I also don't like her. I don't feel like there's enough to her character to actually really care one way or the other. Like, when she got fired, which was also confusing, because it's like, did she actually get fired? He just said, like, go home, take some time off, and come back when you've got your head clear or something like that. He didn't say she was fired. She was not fired. she was basically suspended. So it's like, but they tried to act as if she were fired. Like, she even said to him later on, "You literally fired me." But no, he didn't. So it's like, I don't even know. I don't find the appeal in her. The guy who, the typical white, straight frat guy, who, I don't remember his name. He left no impression on me. He's so generic, it's not funny. Which I get is the idea, but it's not funny. Just having this super overly generic frat boy character who's good at communication skills but terrible at any actual technical skills, it's like, I don't find that funny. And all the other characters were just annoying as fuck. Like, all of Reagan's co-workers and everything in that group, they were annoying. They were actively annoying. And it's just, I'm just not, I don't get it. I don't understand. I will give it another episode or two. I'll continue to give it a chance. Maybe it gets better. But, and I want to make this clear, I'm not saying I hate this series or I actively even dislike it. I don't understand it. It doesn't, nothing about this appeals to me. In fact, it actively, like, what would be the opposite word of appeal? It repels me. I don't know. I don't know if that would be the best word to use there, but it's like, it's what I don't want in a series like this. Like, I'm fine with shows talking about political stuff and everything, but it's like, again, it's just so, it's unfortunately very real in how people actually think and all the conspiracy theories in real life, and it's just like, I don't want to see that in a show. I want to see less of that in general. That stuff annoys me as it is. It's like, I don't like going on Twitter and finding out that the political right are having conspiracies about Hillary Clinton being replaced in 2005 or something. I don't know. I've seen stuff like that, like literally about Hillary Clinton too. It's just, I don't understand the appeal. It's as simple as that. But again, we'll give it a couple more episodes, give it a chance. Maybe it'll grow on me. Because there's been shows where the first episode did very little for me, and I ended up liking the show later on. It's very possible. This is, I think, 10 episodes or so long. So yeah, about 2 more episodes should do it, because I think with a series like this, you don't even really need to get halfway through to really get a good feel on it. I think by episode 2 or 3, I should have an idea. So we'll continue to give it a chance, and if I don't like it, I mean, there's nothing more I can say. I don't understand this series yet. Hopefully that changes. I want to make it clear, I want that to change. I always want to make it clear that I go into everything I react to wanting to love it. So I hope it changes. I hope I end up loving it more after episode 2 and or 3. But I can't promise anything. I can't just assume that I will. So we'll have to just take it as we go. And Matthew, hopefully for your sake as well, since this was a donation reward, that's another reason I'm hoping to enjoy this. But like I said, I'm going to give it a fair chance. I'm going to give it a completely fair chance, but this first episode just, it just kind of did nothing for me. And I just really kind of left this episode just feeling kind of apathetic towards this show. So hopefully that changes. But if not, we'll just move on. But hopefully it changes. We're going to give it, again, 1 or 2 more episodes. See how it goes. Take it from there. In the meantime, tell me in the comments below what you thought of the first episode of Inside Job. And maybe if there's anything you think I misunderstood or whatnot, feel free to correct me or to explain in the comments below. Honestly, please do, because I feel like I need to be explained to about this series. I don't understand at all. Either way, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie. I'm signing off. See y'all next time.